The sweltering Chennai afternoon presses down on Heritage Academy, where ceiling fans struggle against the heat. The prestigious school's corridors are momentarily quiet as classes prepare to change. Through open windows, the sounds of traffic and street vendors filter in with the humid air.
The 8th grade history class is always challenging right after lunch. Keeping the students engaged when the heat makes everyone drowsy requires extra effort.
Janaki Natarajan adjusts her sari and organizes her teaching materials. At 35, she has earned respect at Heritage Academy for her thorough knowledge of history and dedication to teaching. But lately, her passion for the profession has been flickering, much like her marriage to her perpetually absent husband. As Janaki flips through the textbook, marking pages for today's lesson on ancient Tamil dynasties, the classroom door opens. Lakshmi Venkat, the senior teacher who has been at Heritage Academy for nearly 3 decades, enters with a warm but professional demeanor.
Janaki, I just wanted to check in about the new student in your class, Mukul Singh. Principal Sharma mentioned his family recently relocated from Delhi, and he's having some trouble adjusting.
Yes, I've noticed. Some students have been mocking his accent. I've addressed it, but you know how children can be. He seems bright though, very engaged with the material.
That's good to hear. Just remember what I always say. The trust placed in us by students and parents is sacred. Once broken, it can never be truly restored, and the damage extends far beyond just 2 people.
Janaki nods absently, not yet understanding how these words will come to define her life. The warning bell rings, and students begin filtering into the classroom. Lakshmi gives Janaki a supportive pat on the shoulder before departing. Among the students entering is Mukul Singh, clutching his books tightly against his chest like armor. He walks with his head slightly down, avoiding eye contact with classmates who snicker as he passes. Only when he reaches his desk in the front row does he look up.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Natarajan. I read ahead about the Chola dynasty last night. Their naval power was fascinating and much different than what we learned about in Delhi.
There's an earnestness in Mukul's voice that stands out from the typical adolescent indifference. At 14, he carries himself with a maturity born of displacement. A boy forced to adapt to a new cultural environment while facing the usual pressures of his age.
That's excellent initiative, Mukul. Perhaps you'd like to share some of your insights during today's discussion.
A flicker of pride crosses Mukul's face at the recognition, quickly replaced by nervousness as he glances at his classmates.
I'd like that, Mrs. Natarajan. Thank you for the opportunity.
As the classroom fills with students and the final bell rings, the 3 characters settle into their roles. Janaki, the dedicated but increasingly dissatisfied teacher, Lakshmi, the ethical mentor guided by decades of experience, and Mukul, the bright but isolated student seeking validation and connection. Each faces their own challenges and carries their own vulnerabilities, components that will eventually combine to create a dangerous situation with far-reaching consequences. But that danger still lies ahead, as yet unimagined by any of them. Now you must choose which character to roleplay in this story of boundaries, ethics, and consequences. Will you experience the story through the eyes of a teacher struggling with personal emptiness, an experienced educator committed to professional ethics, or a student seeking belonging in a new environment? Which character would you like to roleplay in this story of moral choices and their consequences? Janaki Natarajan, the history teacher facing personal and professional challenges. Lakshmi Venkat, the senior teacher dedicated to upholding ethical standards. Mukul Singh, the new student struggling to find his place.